Hi, welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the BI Rabbi. I'm Rabbi Adam Stein. I hope you're all doing well and are healthy. So I want to share with you something that I read this week, and it really popped out at me. It's by a guy named Kevin Kelly. This is him right here. He has had a very interesting life. He's traveled the world as a photographer. Decades ago, he was the editor of Wired magazine in the 90s. Before that, he was the editor of the Whole Earth Review, the quarterly magazine from the company behind the Whole Earth catalog. Incidentally, that's what inspired the Jewish catalog series. Really interesting life and experiences. Anyway, so it's this guy, Kevin Kelly's birthday a few days ago, and he turned 68. And he just felt like pulling up a rocking chair and dispensing advice to the young ones out there. Those are his words. Now, I know 68 is young for some people and far away for others, but I was intrigued by his desire to share some advice collected over many years of experience in relationships and travel. So he shares on his website his 68 bits of unsolicited advice. He says 68 years, 68 bits of advice. And I'm going to share each and every one of them with you. Just kidding. I'll share a small selection of them. This is 5 minutes of Torah, after all, not 35 minutes of Torah. Anyway, so here's the first one I want to share. Learn how to learn from those you disagree with, or even offend you. See if you can find the truth in what they believe. This is so hard, but so important. You know, in this age where we're so polarized with politics and beliefs and all sorts of things and passions, but we're staying at home, we're not seeing as many people and interacting directly and personally as we used to, so we're interacting online, where disagreements can flare up so intensely. This advice is very powerful. Another one, being able to listen well is a superpower. While listening to someone you love, keep asking them, is there more? Is there more? Until there is no more. Wow. You know, as we've been calling people to see how they're doing, calling people in our community and see if they're okay, and also checking in and letting them know we're thinking of them during yard sites, this advice is so important. Just asking, is there more? You might find out about something important going on that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Next one. Gratitude will unlock all other virtues and is something you can get better at. You know, as we reach out and help each other through this crisis, I think gratitude is immensely important. And he makes a good point that even if we're not so good about expressing our gratitude or letting it show, we can improve in that area. We can get better and better at showing those who help us or who connect with us that we appreciate what they do. So here's a powerful one coming up. He says, trust me, there is no them. There's no them, there's just us. And it's hard to say with 7 billion people in the world, but right now we're all suffering. We're all challenged in our own ways. We're all susceptible to a virus that does not discriminate by religion or gender, ethnicity, nationhood, sexual orientation, or anything else. Anyone can get it, and there's only more at risk for some people. There's no not at risk for any people. And the last one I'll share from Kevin Kelly is, the golden rule will never fail you. It is the foundation of all other virtues. So here it is, the golden rule. Treat people the way you would want to be treated. This came up last week in our drashot from Rabbi Infeld and from me, I think, and it comes up often. There's no wonder that our Rabbi Hillel from 2,000 years ago said that this, or at least his version of it, is the whole Torah and the rest is commentary. And speaking of the Torah, we're talking about 5 minutes of Torah and the parashah. Tomorrow we'll be reading Parashat Emor, and one of the topics is Sukkot. And we read about God spreading out a sukkah of peace. And the Sfat Emet, Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh Leib, author of the 19th century in Poland, teaches that in Sukkot, God draws Israel near, as it says, HaPorei Sukkot Shalom. And we're not thinking so much about Sukkot usually in May, except when it comes up in the Torah portion. But in so many of these bits of advice, and in so much of what we're thinking about and doing during this pandemic, we're doing acts of chesed and maasim tovim, caring for others. So as the Sfat Emet says, we're not just relying on God's compassion and God's kindness alone. We're reaching out and helping our fellow human beings, person to person, members of our community, and creating that sukkah of peace. I want to talk about people who are really doing this. we have these amazing, friendly BI volunteers during the corona pandemic. And how many are there? I just counted on our spreadsheet. There are 41 people in our community who have said, I want to help other people. They've brought food. They've ordered food for people, or helped them order food. They've helped them with their phones and computers to do things. They've helped people specifically with Zoom. By the way, we have a lot of great volunteers who can help you out. If you need help getting set up with Zoom or get better at using Zoom or fix problems with Zoom, they can help you. Just let us know. We have a whole group of volunteers who have been mostly young adults who are going week after week, day after day to bring kosher food from the Louis Breyer kitchen to Yafa House, a wonderful act of chesed. And here's a picture of our member Ava Katz bringing food from the back of Louis Breyer there to her car. This picture was featured in an article that was on the UBC website last week, article about Ava doing amazing work in the community through Beth Israel and other ways. It was great that she was featured in this article last week and mentioned by the chancellor of UBC. So kol hakavod to Ava. And I just want to say thank you to Christine McInnes and Casey Collins, our volunteers who came up with this idea and have spearheaded it from the beginning, and Rabbi Blumen for working with them on the staff side. It shows that whether you're taking the advice of the Torah or a guy who puts out 68 bits of advice on a website, that helping others and connecting with them is what we need to do at this time. Shabbat Shalom.